the CEO of vMix, and then Magewell came to us, mobile video devices as well, said that they have an announcement that's just going to be mind-blowing. I said, really? It better be big then. And they're going to announce it today on this show in just a few minutes. I'm here with Amy and Darryl, and we're going to be going live really soon.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be here.
We're live on some channels now, and some channels not.
Yes, so the way it works, we got this little workflow going on where we're streaming to Stream Geeks, YouTube and Facebook right now. And at 2 o'clock on PTZOptics.
We are live now on PTZOptics.
We are live on PTZOptics. Let's do the countdown timer. Guys, we're taking you into the 2000 NAB Show.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's live.
All right, everybody, here we are, the 2018 NAB Show, National Association of Broadcasters. I'm here with my co-host Tess.
Hi, Paul.
Amy from Magewell.
Yeah, hi.
And Darryl Spangler from Mobile Video Devices, the exclusive USA distributor. Thank you so much for coming over, guys.
Yeah, we are very glad to be here.
We love your products. We actually use some of your products in some of our packages and solutions because they're so reliable and they work so well.
Got some Magewell fans in the chat.
Magewell fans in the chat. Magewell. And Tess is going to be watching the chat on YouTube.
I'm going to stick to YouTube. Sorry, guys, about that this week, but I only have one cell phone, so I'm just going to be managing the YouTube PTZOptics chat.
If you've got any questions for Amy or Darryl, go to YouTube, let us know, because we've got them here, and they've got some interesting announcements that I think are going to stir up some commentary.
Yes, we do. We're going to talk a little bit later about that.
Okay, we're talking later. What would you like to talk about right now?
Well, we talk about our new UltraStream.
Yeah, UltraStream. Well, it's our new products that we have just announced before, NAB. It's a standalone device that can take the HDMI in and loop out HDMI. It compressed the signal by this device and send it out as RTMP stream. And besides the live streaming, it can also do the recording. You can connect a USB flash drive, and you can also record it to your cell phone. And we also have a embedded storage inside of the box, so you can actually record the video in loop and review this video and even download it to your cell phone. What is differentiate this product to other encoders is we use a cell phone to control it instead of a web-based browser, which might be difficult for some users like people working in churches or some gamers. You just need to use a cell phone to make control or make settings for it, and you are ready to go. And as you can see, we have the physical buttons in the device, so you just click it and you are ready to go.
Let's look at these buttons really quickly here and show it in a little bit more detail here. So I'm looking at an HDMI in, an HDMI out, an Ethernet port, and that's for the streaming obviously. On this side, I'm seeing a USB for recording.
Yes.
A audio in and out.
Yes, absolutely. And what I want to add about streaming is we are able to stream to multiple platforms at the same time.
Great.
How many platforms can you stream to?
Well, currently maybe 3, but we are adding to it, like the Facebook, YouTube, yeah, etc. So, and you can also stream to your custom RTMP server. So we hope it is beneficial to users who want to stream over multiple platforms.
So do you have the app here to show?
Apps?
See the app, or is that still in development?
No, we have the app actually showing it over at our booth.
Oh, is that your booth?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. That is awesome. I like the way that you put it on the app. And now I'm seeing this Wi-Fi. Does this have Wi-Fi as well?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it supports wired internet and the Wi-Fi.
So the Wi-Fi is how you connect to the phone.
Or we can do it by Bluetooth, actually.
Oh, Bluetooth as well.
Yes.
To pair the cell phone and this device, so you are able to control the device over Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Wow.
Very good. So, and I see really just two buttons here. I see live and record. So you basically, on your phone, you would log into Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and then you just hit the live button when you want to stream and the record button when you want to record. That makes it pretty easy.
Or you can control it from the app too. So.
Now, are a lot of gamers out there, you mentioned gamers, I'm guessing that this is a big CPU saver for them because they don't want to be taking up their gaming processing with streaming and recording. They'd rather have that kind of offloaded on something like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice. And I can also see, just for simplicity in the church market, anyone who wants to just stream very simply and easily, doesn't get much simpler than basically 2 buttons.
Yeah, absolutely. Chat says, Amy, I've used a Magewell HDMI capture dongle for years and I love it.
I'm flattered. We are very glad. It's helpful to users of all kinds.
A lot of people are excited for your announcement.
Yeah, there's a big announcement coming, you guys. I think we have to get through all these products before we can talk about it, right? So, you want to talk about this one?
Sure.
So they brought a bunch of toys here. Let's tell us about this one, Amy.
Okay, this is actually, I think we released it last year. It's a 4K capture dongle over USB 3. So I think a lot of users are using our HD version, the HDMI or HDI. And the reason why we came out of this version is because we think some users might be interested in capture 4K resolutions, and that's how we come here. And we also added the standard BMC connector to catch HDI, and one is for HDI input and the other is for HDI loop out in case people want to monitor what he's capturing. And we also have the lie in and lie out for the audio. So we are very excited that we can move forward and coming out with the HDI 4K and HDMI 4K. So yeah.
So I know your normal dongles are $299.
Correct.
Capture card, not a frame grabber. Tell me, Darryl. I know I get that. You're gonna get me right one of these days.
I know. I'm trying.
How much is this one then?
The 4K version, that's $459.
$459.
So we also have an option where, we have one that does 1080, 60. And actually, how we came about developing that, a lot of people remember the first one came out with actually had a little cable. Everyone said, we love the product, but I lose that cable.
Didn't like the little
Can
cable.
you put this on the head on there? And we said, yeah, sure. So we went ahead and done that. And then while we were developing that, people were saying, well, geez, could you give us, something that we do go out? We're like, sure, we did that. And they said, well, how about a line in? So we went ahead and did that. Well, I think one big thing about Magewell, they really listen to feedback from the customers and come out with products all the time, or add features to it. So,
wow.
And the 1080 60 model, that is $359.
Wow. So not much more than the normal 1080p 60
Mm-hmm.
version available today.
Yep.
Those are just great products. In fact, I think we might have a chance to look at the PTZOptics Producer Kit, which features one of these, but in the SDI version. We'll talk about this. Let's talk about this, and then we'll get to this one.
Okay.
So these are, for those of you out there, it's called a PCIe capture card. This was new to me. Only a few years ago, I didn't know what they were. I was like, why would you need one? And it turns out we've actually got 2 of these now in our studio. This is what people are using to build custom live streaming boxes. It looks like something that, from a technical standpoint, from like a normal person, what does this look like to you? Like a bunch of computer chips?
Fan cooling device with, I can't even explain this.
Yeah, like the first time you look at something like this.
We're looking at the insides right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something you would put into a computer or into a box.
And I have to be honest, I've never actually installed one of these myself. It'd be like, oh, what is that? How do I get this in there? I'm worried about breaking the computer or something. But we actually have 2 of these in our thing, and I would love to see from Magewell some installation tutorials maybe, because I feel like a lot of people might be like, oh, how does that work? How do I get it in there? Right. But let's talk about what it does. It looks like a giant computer chip essentially.
Yeah.
Board.
Actually, this is our Pro Capture cards. We have multiple models, including 1-channel, 2-channel, quad-channel, HDMI, HDI, and we even have the 1-channel, 2-channel DVI. And we also have a couple of 4K 4K60 solutions. This product just help users to capture video from camera or from other video source and gets them into the computer, so they are able to do the streaming or other things like recording, and it's the PCIe. So it's well, I think I have to say the density of our card is what differentiate our products from others. You see, just by this one card, you can take 4 channels HD simultaneously, and if you have enough PCIe slots, then you are able to even put more cards, no matter the models is HDMI or SDI.
Yes.
And we have the rotary switch, which helps to identify each card if they are the same model. So we hope it is very easy to use for our users. So that's
can we zoom into that really quickly? And it looks like you guys have a pretty good close up here. Where's the rotary switch? Can you point to it?
It's right up top.
Can you just touch it there, Amy? Amy, can you touch the rotary switch?
This, yeah.
So it's right there.
Yeah.
Just because I want to show that to you, because we had 2 of the exact same cards. We have 8 SDI ports.
8 SDI ports.
Yeah, but we have 2 4-port SDI ports, and vMix was having trouble identifying which one was which. And we had to, and you want to do this before you install the PCIe card, not after. We had to take the PCIe card out and then turn the rotary switch, and that helps with identification of the sources.
But they sell them with the switch already there?
It looks like by default it's always on 0.
It's there. You have to choose the location that you want.
I see. So you had to adjust the switch, just like the switch.
Yeah,
Great.
it's right there.
So that was our mistake too. Okay.
Yeah, we were like, why is this not working? And you told me, and I was like, oh, does that mean I have to take the PCIe card out? So just a little tip, if you're installing these or more than one in the same computer, change that rotary switch. And we'll show you in just a moment here the PTZOptics producer kit, because we can walk over there. I believe it'll be fine.
Quick question from Chad: is the line in intended to replace the existing signal audio or add to it on the 4K card?
The what?
Is the line in meant to replace the existing signal audio or to add to it?
I think it's add to it. We take the embedded SDI audio, and you can also add the line to the stream.
That's nice. Because you've got a secondary
ambient
microphone,
noise or
and you want to add an extra spot. That's great. So this is something that is incredibly interesting for me, because I love the size of it. Look at this. It's just like the size of like your finger. I mean, it's just tiny. I mean, look, it really is the size of like a one person's finger. And I'm guessing that this product was made to be fitting into these little microcomputers.
Yeah.
And is that 4 channels?
Yes, 4 channel.
Can we
3G
show
SDI.
Can you? Sorry, Martin. Could you zoom into this? I just look at how small this is. And
still trying to understand this
show
one.
me a card in comparison.
Okay.
So this is
This is
4 channels.
a 4-channel card. Look at the size of this one. And I'm not sure, Jim, yeah, there we go. Switching to it. Look at the size of that. And that's 4 SDI connections
I see.
right
So
there.
there will be more plugs in there.
So it connects like
to
that.
4 cameras?
Correct.
4
Correct.
cameras. Now, is this for the Intel NUCs, the little micro PCs and things of
Yes,
that
they
nature?
are.
Yeah, it works. It works with Intel NUCs.
It works with the Intel NUCs?
That's unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
The thing that we have too, we have a couple different models of each one, where we have a full-length heatsink, and then we can also have a smaller heatsink or no heatsink. It depends on the computer that you're using, whether it's vented or fans.
So what are you seeing with this? What was the vision behind this product?
Well, I think a lot of people want to make their chassis in small form factor, so they want the card to be as small as possible.
Yes.
So we think the bandwidth of the M.2 that we are using is enough. So that is why we come up with this eco capture. And actually, we have 4 models for this family. We have the quad SDI, dual SDI, and 1 dual HDMI, and 1 channel 4K 30 card HDMI card.
Wow.
So quite a few. And it's the standard 20 to 80
Right.
size, so it's standard, and it's very easy to source the motherboards to work with this card.
Wow.
It was also like a shift in the motherboards, going from a mini PCIe to like an M.2, or having combinations of that. So we also have we have 2 flavors of the mini PCIe, a single channel HDMI and a single channel SDI. So you have choices depending on what else you're putting in. Sometimes some of the wireless connectors would go in and take up one of those slots. So they said, well, I need a product that will be able to fit in there. So that's when we came up with the M2s.
And I want to point out, there's a deep switch here also to help you identify.
They're so tiny and cute.
Yeah, identify which card is which. So we really want it to be very friendly to users.
Wow.
I like that. You have a lot of fans in the chat.
Yeah, a lot of people love your products. Basically they're just so reliable. I know you guys have a big announcement. I also wanted to show our producer kits, which include your products. So we believe in the Magewell products so much, we've actually built them into our PTZOptics producer kits.
Maybe we consider that 4K device.
Yeah, no, I know. I think we definitely should. And the thing, well, once we have 4K cameras. But the other thing that I noticed about what you guys do is a lot of your products are inside other people's products. So you might not even know that you're using Magewell products a lot of times, and because they're inside. Do you think we could show that really quickly?
Sure.
Yeah. Jim, do you have we're going to use NDI for the first time on this show. You think we'll be all right to walk over there?
You can, but I don't think you have a shot framed of the
I'll get it out. Yeah. All right, let's go over there real quick. I just want to show that.
We're all mobile here today.
So here we are here, and there we are streaming there. And let's just pull up our control room. So that's the switch there. And so what we have here is, what do you think, Jim? Can you see it? All right, hold on.
If you can.
I think I can.
Or bring the camera down a little bit.
Can you bring the remote over here, maybe? The
He's
IR
looking
remote.
for an IR remote.
I don't want to
if we
unplug
can.
this,
Thank
but
you.
this is the. Oh, I see. There is
go,
that.
Paul.
That's right there. Okay.
Question in the chat.
There we go.
Will Magewell
Can you
consider
see it,
making
Jim?
an HDMI to SDI to fiber converter?
Okay, hold on.
I need to check about that. Not to my knowledge
Is that
yet.
good?
And they can hear us right now, so that was
That's
good
as far as I can go. All right.
Still see that.
So this is the 4-port SDI from PTZOptics producer kit with the Magewell card inside. And one of the things I wanted to mention about this is that I'm not sure what your big release is going to be, but I wanted to show that all of our customers that have PTZOptics producer kits are using Magewell capture cards, the SDI cards, in this. This is a 3G SDI capture card with 4 ports coming over Thunderbolt into our Intel NUC computer. But also, I think that you guys have an announcement to make. We'll go back to the couch area. That's going to make this and
comparable
all
with
of
that
your
4-port
products
HDMI.
a little
Yes.
bit
I
more
see.
interesting.
Yes, they will.
So I wanted to
I'm
show
still
that.
understanding all of these things.
We use the NewTek NDI. You may have seen there. Oh, great. So, okay. So, we used the NewTek NDI for the first time on the show today. Woo! Thank you, Jim.
We're still here.
We're still here. Nothing blew up.
Not that we would expect that to happen.
So, the only thing I have for this big release is a drum roll, if you'd like. I can do a...
Sure, do
Should we
it.
do the drum roll test?
1, 2, 3.
What is the release?
We can't say yet. Go ahead, Andy. I'll let you do that.
Well, we are very happy that we can announce this coming software, which we hope it can be a bridge between Magewell capture devices to NDI. We are coming out with a software that you are able to install in your computer, which are installed with any of our capture devices, no matter it's a PCIe cards or USB capture devices. Then you are able to send out the video as NDI stream over the networks.
Wow.
So it means if you have a other computer installed with NDI-enabled software like vMix, then they are able to detect the NDI stream and make use of it.
Wow. And this is for Windows only, I would imagine.
Yes, as far as
point.
it's Windows.
So any Magewell device can be used to turn into an NDI source.
Yes.
Wow.
And I believe that we still have the plan to even integrate the NDI receive in the application, so we can bond the application not only with those capture cards, but also the Flex IO. We also have the playout card, so we're able to detect the NDI in the network and play it out.
Wait a second. I didn't even know you guys had a playout product.
It's not officially released yet.
Oh, it's not officially released
It's coming.
Yet. Okay. Oh, so there's two. That's part of the announcement then, because you let it out. I don't know if you wanted to or not. So let me just recap here. Why don't you explain it to us?
No. That's you. I'm still processing.
All right, so I'm just going to try to explain what I just heard because I think that was pretty incredible.
People are seeming to be pretty excited.
There's a piece of software that might cost a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And what it will do is it's on a Windows computer. Any Magewell device gets plugged into it, and it's NDI compatible.
Meaning, okay. I'm trying to understand this fully. So,
So if
give me an
it's
example.
let's say it's this 4K capture card here.
Okay.
You plug it into your computer, you run the software, you've got an NDI source on your network.
So even if a software isn't NDI compatible, if you're using that device or software, then you can use a camera as an NDI source on your network.
I think the computer is with our application installed, it can send out the stream as NDI. So you have to install NDI enabled software in the other computers to detect the streams.
But for example, the Gen 1 versions of your cameras, they can be plugged into in one of our, say, a dongle. If we have the application on that dongle, then your Gen 1 camera becomes an NDI camera, basically.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm understanding now. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So otherwise, non-NDI cameras can be used as an NDI source.
All kinds of SDI and HDMI.
Non-PTZ cameras.
Sources. Anything that you plug into.
Okay, now I'm having
device.
that mind-blown moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that is pretty big. Congratulations!
Thank
What a
you.
great new application for you guys. It's going to really lead to a lot of new things. You know what it makes me kind of think of too is that you could technically build like an Intel NUC with one of these and have 4 SDI ports that are all immediately turned into NDI on a local area network. So it just opens up a lot of doors. Now you mentioned the play out feature thing. Can we talk about that at all, or is that just a slip that we don't want to?
No, that's actually been announced already.
It's been announced. So what is that exactly?
Well, we have the first 2 models, the 4 inputs in and 2 out, 2 channels out, and we have the HDI version and HDMI version. So we are still doing the kind of development work right now, so it's not shipping yet.
So what is that used for?
It's
like a random customer.
So basically, content coming in, you can take that and just send it to like another computer and then do editing or do anything that you want with it.
So that's what play out is?
Yes.
Okay. It plays out to another computer for editing.
A few people are asking about numbers.
How much that would be, or how much the software would be?
The software.
Oh, we haven't discussed that.
That's still okay. So this is very new.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some of these things haven't been fully laid out yet. So.
But thank you so much for making the announcement on our show. That makes it so much fun.
Yeah, we're really
in fact,
honored.
I will say that Darryl said there's another announcement coming that's even bigger and better.
And
How
we
could
can't
that
tell
be?
you, Paul.
We
You
can't.
keep
Of
asking.
course,
it's a good thing.
They don't trust me. They're not going to tell me what it is. So I get that.
And availability. When do we think this might be rolled out? Available?
Well, we hope the beta version will be available in May this year. So
great.
Not very long.
Wonderful. So stay tuned.
So next month.
To mobile video devices and Magewell. And where can we find you guys?
Our booth number, it's South Upper 6324.
What else are you showing up there that we weren't able to show
we're
here?
showing PTZOptics cameras.
Oh, very nice.
Wow, what a
it's a
great-
seamless integration. You know, there's other capture cards out there that do not work right with our cameras. You know, like the Black Magic ones sometimes have some issues at certain frame rates, I'll be honest.
A name for this device.
Yeah, what is
people
this
are
called?
looking for.
The UltraStream.
Magewell's always
UltraStream?
UltraStream HDMI.
HDMI.
UltraStream HDMI. I love it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you
We're
guys.
going to roll into our giveaway. And Thomas wants to leave with, please thank them so much for their products. Thomas Hendricks.
Thank you for your products.
We get a lot of
and
love
thank
in
you for
our
your
fan
time.
club here.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
Jim, can we play our day 3 B-roll? I want to give you guys a little look into what NAB Show has been here
giveaway.
while we figure out what the giveaway is going on. But we're going to give you, Tess was on the main stage up in Central Hall. We did a little bit of vMix reseller meetup stuff, so just some fun stuff. So let's roll that B-roll and we'll see you guys in just a moment. All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we're back.
So, all right, let's see here. Oscar Pomelo, please respond on the YouTube chat as you have been the winner for today's Spin the Wheel. If you're here, Oscar Pomelo. And we're going to give you a brief moment here to respond before we, go with another winner. And our next guest is LiveU.
Yeah.
Claudia and/or Joyce from LiveU are going to be joining us in a brief moment here. Excited to talk about LiveU and the LiveU device we're using today and every day of NAB.
Yes. We're using the LiveU LU600. I wish I had a wiring diagram to show how this is all working, but essentially all the cameras and NDI sources are coming into our TriCaster, and then the TriCaster just outputs to LiveU, and then LiveU broadcasts wherever you want in 1080p quality without having a real internet connection. Now we have internet here, but it's not strong enough for streaming in high quality definition, so we're using the LiveU to really bond cellular
source
data.
there. Okay, so I'm not seeing Oscar.
Okay.
So Shane Webb. Shane Webb, are you here?
And then from there, we're streaming actually to Easy Live. We had Philip Laurent, not Philippe, Philip Laurent, and he's from Easy Live. So we streamed to Easy Live, and we're actually streaming right now to 4 destinations. So if you're watching on Stream Geeks YouTube or Facebook, maybe you're watching on PTZOptics YouTube or Facebook, we're able to do that with the cloud-based stream. Tess is going to go ahead and do one more winner as we hang out and wait for LiveU, who's going to stop over here. I know they're busy. It's a busy show.
Sorry.
They're at a busy booth.
I was actually planning on going to their booth.
Here we are in Central Hall at the 2018 NAB Show. You guys got to see and actually get an exclusive announcement from Magewell. I'm surprised that they were announcing that today. In fact, I heard a little story about Darryl and Martin Wolf. Martin Wolf, are you here? Martin Wolf.
With 2 Fs.
With 2, I only did 1 F. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
I know you have another F in your name, but we're going to get that giveaway. We're going to do the spin to win, but we got to get a live viewer to do the spin to win for. It's so funny. The format for our live show at the NAB Show Floor ends up being different.
Yeah.
Than the,
and we're kind of getting into the groove of it too. That was great that we did the B-roll for the transition.
B-roll, transition. In fact, we have a little bit
live view on deck.
Live views on deck. We have a little of B-roll from the reseller meetup last night we could play as well. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure. Thomas says that he's very impressed with LiveU and seriously considering getting it after seeing us use it at NAB.
Yeah, the quality
with
is
all the
incredible.
interference. Yeah,
it's really.
We're really impressed with it as well. Yeah. Repick a winner really quick here. Yeah. What? I'm just gonna. This guy's in Ireland. Leonard Johnson.
Leonard Johnson. Looks like we're having one of those days where we're going to be pulling a lot of winners. So when it rains, it pours. But I know you guys are out there waiting patiently. We're going to spin the wheel, see what someone can win today. Just about time for Claudia.
A question
and
by
Joyce.
James. New lessons learned doing live show at NAB. I would next time do the giveaways after all of the streams.
Yes, I agree.
As that's stressing me out right now, I would definitely do the giveaways after all of the streams. This way we don't have to worry about it in between when we're switching guests.
One of the things that I'm interested about for next year is if someone has a live stream, if someone has a live show and they're one of our customers, I'd like to open up our streaming space for them. So I'd like to have, it could be a little crazy, I agree.
Yes.
But it would be, wouldn't it be great if the live streaming pros are actually coming here at 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we're having a happy hour at 5 o'clock here.
We are?
Yeah, there's a happy hour today at 5 o'clock. But Kenny Hampton.
Kenny
Hampton's here in person.
He's here in person somewhere.
That's who you were just talking to. Wow, a live stream viewer that's actually here.
Wonderful. So we'll spin the wheel for you, Kenny.
Is Kenny here?
And we'll be back shortly. Well, we're going to be staying live with LiveU.
Yeah, we'll be here in just a minute. So let's spin the wheel for Kenny. Kenny! Kenny is here right now. I'm going to get him over here. That's great. Wow.
Here.
I'm so glad. Kenny, come over here. You won. Yeah. We're going to spin the wheel for you. Come on over here. Here, put on a microphone.
Hi.
All right, guys.
Kenny's one of our favorites from the chat.
Kenny's one of our favorite
It was so
viewers.
fun.
Sit down on the couch.
Thank you, guys.
I'm so happy.
I am too. Thank you very much.
This is great.
And it's been so fun to meet some of the people that we always see in the
Come
chat.
sit on the couch with
in
me so you
person.
get in the shot here.
Okay.
This is
Michael has the
great.
wheel. Do you want to spin the
Michael's
wheel
got
for
the wheel.
yourself?
All right.
Let him spin it.
All right, let's
Here it
do.
comes. All right. so
Oh, a
now-
virtual reel, eh?
A virtual wheel.
Okay, here we go. Hope for the best.
Boom.
This
here
is
it
a first.
goes. It's basically exactly the same as the other wheel.
Really?
It's virtual.
That is fantastic.
B-Mix mouse pad.
B-Mix mouse pad. All right. All right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Well, tell us a little bit about, since we have you here and we're
Yeah.
waiting for our guests anyway. So, what is it like to be on this show? This is great. Oh, deliver the mouse pad.
And I have the old style, and I'm happy to have the new one.
You got the new
I got the new
one.
one. Fantastic. Say again now.
So, what's it like to be on the show?
Oh, it is fantastic. I've had a lot of fun here at NAB, talking to vendors like you, basically coming to see your products. I've been following you guys on the web as long as you've been doing this. When you joined,
Show
been
remind me of the
watching.
early
The
days.
shows are always great. I learned all kinds of stuff from you guys.
Thank you, Kenny.
And I'm a member of the World of Live Streaming and that
Yes,
Streaming
another
Idiots
great
bunch, you
one.
know.
Yes.
So that's what I do. I've just kind of soaking it all in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us about Greenville and your role there.
Yeah.
Greenville University is a university in Southern Illinois, about 50 miles from St. Louis.
Okay.
And I am director of media resources there, so I handle technology.
I got married in
class-
St. Louis.
Did you really?
Yeah, my wife's from there.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're about 50 miles just due east of you. We're a 4-year Christian liberal arts school.
Okay.
and I get to handle the technology in the classrooms, and then when we do events, then I do the streaming thing.
Oh, wow.
And what caught me to PTZOptics was because I'm always looking for a better camera setup, and a one-man operation requires point tilt zoom, right, to be able to do things. And the quality of your product and the video it puts out is pretty astounding.
Well, thank you.
It really is, and it's much smaller. You wouldn't think this. I work with some sound companies, and I mentioned another brand, and I said, "What do you use?" They said, "We use PTZOptics." He said, "They're really small in comparison to some of the other
big broadcast cameras."
Yeah, and other even PTZ cameras.
Yeah.
They're a smaller form factor, but you have a nice big lens, lets a lot of light in. So nice stuff.
Well, I'm so glad to see, I have to say for me, and maybe Tess, you could kind of explain this, but to see almost everybody.
Everyone's saying congrats and
everyone's
hi
congratulating
to
you.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
who else is saying hi?
Thomas said, put Kenny on. Thomas Hendricks is here, Christopher Higuera, Jonathan Marles, Chad Lafarge, James Mons, H&O Productions. A lot of familiar names in there.
It was such a amazing experience last night to just basically meet everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that we normally are talking together and learning together in the chat room, they were all there.
They were there at that meetup, and if you remember, last year was my first year, and
oh my gosh,
and
since last year,
there was a small group there.
It wasn't much of us last year.
No, there weren't very many, and this year you can just tell how it's expanded.
Oh my gosh,
I showed up for the right year then.
You did, Tess. You did for sure.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Just three times the size. Really goes to show that people care and actually want to be in this together.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's an evolving industry, and you learn little tricks from this person, and it passes it on, and pretty soon it's sort of that's how you're doing things.
Yeah.
And that's what's fantastic about watching a show like you guys create. What, 3 times a week? You guys are on 3?
Right now,
3 times a week.
3 times a week.
And I have to say, Tom does such a great job, Tom Sinclair from Easter Bunny, bringing everyone together kind of under a community kind of umbrella. And one of the things I think is really amazing that I've heard more and more is that since we're all using similar things, we all kind of are relating to the workflows and kind of can, like if something happens on Tom's show, maybe it's a glitch or something, we can kind of figure out what it was because we kind of know what he's doing over there.
Right.
We've seen the behind the scenes, we've talked about it. And so it's this interesting thing where we're like, we kind of, like you get to know the technology that we're using in our studio and Tom's studio and all the different shows, and then you kind of like see what's happening when the cameras are moving, the presets, what's happening in vMix, and from a view, and I'd like to get your opinion on this, but from a viewer's standpoint, I feel like you kind of know the technology that's making the stream happen.
That's the interesting part for your kind of viewers, because we're the viewers that want to know what's going on behind the scenes and want to know how you're pulling off what you're doing, and that's what's neat about content, producers. We want to know that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's really fun.
Here's an interesting question I want to ask you. Michael's actually here right now. We could even bring him on if our other guest doesn't show up. But
I'm a little weary of that now. But at least we have Kenny.
At least we have Kenny, and Michael's here too. I almost like to bring Michael on.
No sign of Claudio Joyce yet.
But here's the question. Maybe we can bring you on, Michael. I don't know if you want to or not.
By the way, Tommy Willis says to say, Kenny, I love you.
Oh, bless his heart. That's an Alabama friend.
He said, tell Kenny I love him.
And the only reason why I wanted to bring this up and invite Michael on is because here's a question. Were you watching Tess and I when we were doing the video production ourselves on camera?
Yes, when you were controlling everything.
The Blue Studio?
Before we had a producer.
Absolutely.
What did you think about that transition?
You know what? Well, the transition was phenomenal because it takes you to a different level. But it showed that when you were doing the earlier stage, it showed what you could do as a two-person pretty much operation. I mean, you had the cameras, you had your shots, you had your small box cameras focused in.
For the close-up shots. And
it was a great show. It was a great show. What you're doing now with a producer and with the multi-cams and that sort of thing, it takes you into a training mode. You can do a whole lot more in the way of instructing and all that sort of thing. So it takes you to a little different level.
Yeah, it's interesting because I felt like now that we don't have to have the pressure of switching and doing all that stuff on camera, we can really focus a lot more.
Can strive.
Have you noticed that we're like more focused? And
Yes,
not
you
as
are.
Much distracted?
And there's more. There's actually more. Before you were demonstrating some of the products that you were actually controlling, and we're now you still do a bit of that, but you are taking it beyond that and getting into other content and letting somebody else handle it on the back end.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been great.
Yeah. Some of the stuff you've shown on the slow-mo and all that kind of stuff, and some of the super chat stuff that's going on. I would not have known about it, but for you
Fun
two.
stuff.
So the other thing I want to mention, my buddies at World of Live Streaming, and Giles and that whole bunch, and I got involved with those guys after I met Tom Sinclair online. Okay, so I saw Giles on Tom's show, and so kind of tuned into his. And I was scared to go on. I really was. I was very apprehensive. And he said, "Can he come on in to the non-live part if you want to, just to get your feet wet, just to see what." And that's a great group of people over there, World of Live Streaming.
Friendly, welcoming.
Very welcoming. Not afraid to make mistakes because that's how we learn. And
we do it all the time.
And that's what we're about.
Sometimes it's about just like putting yourself out there for a minute.
Yeah. So I highly recommend World of Live Streaming for somebody who is maybe just really apprehensive. They see your productions, they look really slick and they're good, and they think, I can never do that. Well, start at World of Live Streaming or someplace else, or Live Streaming Pros, another great organization where they really will start you from the ground and go up. So good stuff.
Yeah, when we saw Live Streaming Pros, we were, I don't even remember what we were doing.
I had just started.
Tess had
you have to check these guys out.
I was like, Tess, please check these guys out.
Yeah.
And then it ended up very quickly, we're putting up a blue brick background. And
they inspired a lot of our physical set design and the want to do that and the need for it.
Yeah.
And then also just,
multiple
presenters and having kind of a back and forth relationship with another host.
And it was also very copacetic because I started talking to David a little bit, and we finally got him off live stream studio onto vMix, and so he was learning stuff from our show. Yet I think that they had a very big impact on us.
Where's the best place to get access to the world of live streaming? Is it a user group? Or?
No, it's actually a website called stepbackintime.tv, and that's a.
So a few people are asking.
Yeah, stepbackintime.tv.
I'll put it in the chat.
And you will see what you need to there. Stepbackintime.tv.
Oh, it's not letting me because I'm on my personal.
Is an organization is a website that Giles set up for some things. He's in the UK, and so it's actually hosted out of the UK every week, every Monday. World of Live Streaming meets at, it would be 12 o'clock, I guess, here on the West Coast. That's the best time I can tell you. So stepbackintime.tv, follow through with that. You'll meet Giles and join the group. We're also on Facebook also, if you could do a search for World of Live Streaming there too.
Tess, I'm thinking that if LiveU is caught up, maybe we could bring on somebody like Chris, maybe Scott Pienta. Bring on some of the
I'm totally cool with that.
Some of the Streaming Idiot group members.
Let me do one loop just to make sure.
Chris is out there a lot, and I understand he has a film production. He kind of shoots a lot of what. He would be a really interesting guy. I just got to know him a little bit last night. So
I'm super excited because I mean it's I know a lot of people love Magewell. We've had vMix on. We've had Andrew Cross. Now it will be a great time to bring on some of the people in the community. It's almost like we're pulling people right out of the chat room and just saying, hey, you won the giveaway? Get over here. Come on in.
You're actually here at NAB. Come on
I'm
over.
so happy that happened too.
Oh, well,
I wish it was a free camera.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. I'm just happy to. I happen to be right here. And
luckily.
That worked out great. So thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, would you want to come on the show and say hi?
Oh, yeah. Let me hand off my microphone.
All right, sure. Well, we have another one.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Here, our other guest didn't show up, and I haven't got a chance to talk to you much. Chris
from LA, right?
San Antonio, Texas, which is actually where
NewTek
is. Here they are. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
I'm only watching
YouTube. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I guess we got to interview them. Can I? As soon as they're done,
we've been just streaming through. Sorry about that.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Can you guys
very
give your
much.
microphones to these beautiful ladies?
Yeah, and I'll just move off set and get these gals in here.
All right.
No, please.
I'm going to sit here. Come on, guys. All right, we're going to set the highlight reel for YouTube.
Better late than never, right?
Claudia, give me a hug. I know you've been busy.
It's been crazy.
Oh, it's great to see you.
Hello.
Crazy. Hello. Oh. I just got a little mic from here.
Things are pretty laid back with us. Here, scooch in and I'll sit with you.
Oh, good. That's better.
There we go. The lovely ladies on the couch. And you look so precious too. With your cute shoes
Yeah.
and your
Okay.
variety of glasses.
That's right.
I guess I'll sit here.
And your lashes are fantastic.
Thank you. See?
Lashes looking
Why didn't I
great.
come
On
here
point,
sooner
girl.
and get compliments? I've been getting nothing but, you know what, from our staff. I can't get this on.
Trouble.
Every time I
Take your time. We're pretty laid back over
Okay,
here.
so we are live with LiveU. We have Claudia with us. Actually, one of our neighbors over on the East Coast.
Yes.
And we've been collaborating. We're using the LU600. I'm guessing you have some new products and new features that are out for NAB.
There's a lot of cool stuff out for NAB, from the major broadcasters all the way down to the online streamers. We actually have our booth, our big booth here in the Central Hall, but we also are in the Facebook Live Pavilion, and we are sprinkled throughout a variety of other vendor booths because
Like
we kind
ours,
of,
too?
yes, because we kind of hit all walks of life. But yeah, it's everything from being able to globally roam, basically get off a plane anywhere in the world now and go live. If people are familiar with LiveU, it essentially is cellular bonding. So you would typically have to localize a unit so that it would work with the local cellular carriers.
Yeah.
But in the wide, wonderful world of technology that we have, and between either leveraging cellular satellite hybrid, and global roaming
You're a
sims
smart
now,
lady.
it doesn't matter where you are. And when you add in the advancements in our HEVC technology,
Yes.
that basically means you don't even have to worry about how big the pipe is anymore, basically, no matter where you are.
Oh my gosh.
We're seeing major broadcasters using our stuff at 1 megabits per second for broadcast quality now with HEVC transmission. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we got a killer demo. Come on over. I'll show you.
Yeah,
I
we
have
had
to check that out.
Yeah.
I did see it. I saw it at NAB New York.
Yeah.
Now here we are at the big NAB.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you got new stuff
Yes.
for everyone from the streamers all the way up.
Yeah.
Let's start with the streamers.
Okay,
Because
all
I
right.
think most of our audience is there. Tess is going to be answering questions in the chat.
Yes, I've
Let's
got the
start
chat right
with
here.
the streamers. What do you got for us?
So our flagship product for online
Solo.
streaming is LiveU Solo. And we continually are making enhancements to the portal to make it easier to use and add more functionality. And one of the things we're doing a tease preview of in the pavilion are adding live graphics through the Solo portal.
Oh my gosh.
One of the biggest things is everyone wants to do initially is, let me just get online. And then once they're online and they've got a decent quality camera, a decent quality lights and sound, better than the cell phone, now it's what else can I do to enhance my program?
Absolutely.
Is it interactions? Is it multiple cameras? Is it switching from those multiple cameras? Syndication? But the number one thing most people say is they want to be able to put a logo on something.
Yeah.
Or maybe for sports, show a score. So our whole premise and platform is to be open and integrated. So any graphics package you want to use, any switching company you want to use, we work and integrate seamlessly with. But we also wanted to add a feature so that if somebody just wanted to turn on some basic or even more advanced graphics through that same interface, now
Okay.
they can too. So it's a preview. Some of our Facebook Lives that we're doing from the show, you'll see graphics popping up. We did a tour of the pavilion earlier where I was behind the controls and I was doing the live lower thirds. So if I was doing it, I'm pretty sure everyone else out there in the audience can figure it out. Yeah. And then at Streaming Media East in a few weeks, it'll be fully live.
Wonderful.
Oh, thank
cool.
you.
We got a product
Yeah, that
shot.
was the LU600.
That's what we're
there it
using
is.
right now.
We've
Yeah.
been using that every day
So that's
at
doing
NAB.
4 megabits.
Yes.
That's got to be great quality.
It's ridiculous quality.
A
Well,
lot of people are
everyone's
telling us
Oh,
that
that's
the color
great.
and
About the
sound is
quality.
great.
excellent,
Wow.
Excellent.
Somebody said that they're thinking about buying the LiveU after seeing its performance with us at NAB, so that's happy to hear.
And that's fantastic news because we've seen all sorts of range of connection speeds, but even with our Solo product, which is just 2 cellular modems, The team was going live from the South Hall at about 4 to 5 megabits per second on average.
I've seen it happen.
I know
On
Live Streaming
average.
Pros is running around with it too.
Yeah,
A lot of people using that.
It's like I said, it's sprinkled throughout, including Broadcast Beat, which are the official NAB
they're
broadcasters.
using
They're
LiveU.
using it as well.
Really?
Yeah, so we partnered up with Telestream, so it's a nice workflow of using Wirecast and LiveU together as well.
Great.
And they're cool on getting smart. You know, people get overwhelmed at these shows. Even I had a hard time finding the booth. There's a lot here. But when you can put the behind the scenes on display, I think everybody really enjoys it. And I think it's super cool that Broadcast Beat put their whole production studio behind clear glass.
I love that.
And you can really see every element, and then people can go and run to the booth and learn more about what they're seeing in use.
Here's the place to do it like that.
Like
too.
on our studio where people are seeing the PTZ cameras in use.
I know, we are so happy to see
and
that.
they can immediately come over now and learn more.
It's also amazing about the
that.
show that there's so many collaborations and
Yeah.
so much opportunity for that.
Well, you'll like it next year that we are in Central Hall in the front.
Oh, there
So
you go.
we will be just like 4
Next door.
booths down from you.
Excellent, excellent.
So that will
That's-
be even
that's
better.
good news.
We got a better booth.
It is more fun when everyone's together and
Yeah.
they can sort of collaborate,
Hop
like you
over
said.
or- yeah.
But I love the whole idea that you guys are doing something live from here, and you know we put some effort into doing that as well because there's so many people that can't come to Las Vegas.
Yes.
And like I said, it is very overwhelming even if you can come to Las Vegas. So it is nice that people at home get to see it, hear it. I think it's super cool that you guys are doing it for
absolutely.
the Stream Geeks community. as
Yeah, and
well.
they're loving it.
Yeah.
So
And that's why I thought it would be great to start with the solo because
Yeah.
I know so many people after we started showing people how we could go out in a car and broadcast or start in our studio and then go out into a mobile and then come back to the studio and mixing back and forth.
Yeah.
So it was a great starting point. I know a lot of you guys out there are starting to use the solo. So what's the next step up from the solo?
So from there, that's a very simple to use interface specifically designed for going straight to online. While you can point that to any destination, it was meant to sort of not be for the big broadcast engineer. All of our other products from that point on do go through our other enterprise management platform called LiveU Central. So you actually can move up to the LU200, which is the same form factor as the Solo, but you get a few additional enhancements, which are extra modems. So you actually will have up to 6 connections that you can have bonded together. And that unit is in use by broadcasters far and wide. It's very, very small like the Solo is, so it can fit into someone's carry-on bag. But it taps into the LiveU workflow that most of the major broadcasters use. And what's cool about that product is we see a lot more different vertical markets starting to stream using that, not just for their own productions, but because with that workflow, they can now distribute that same content over IP with television stations and major broadcasters.
wow.
So you're even seeing high schools and local communities using our products to be able to share that now in real time with the local television affiliate or the local regional sports network. They wouldn't normally send a journalist to cover it or a camera crew, but now they can actually get and share that content because it's all on the one LiveU platform.
That's such
Wow.
a great
Yeah.
use case.
Yeah.
It's a sales point too as well because for like these, let's say you're a little school, you never get any coverage of your high school basketball team, yet some of these high school kids, if they were get to that exposure, they could get scholarships, different things.
Yeah.
So it's almost a sales pitch. So I think I might have been kind of dreaming in my mind here. So let me just think about this for a second.
Dreaming.
Well, no, I was just listening to you and I was
Usually that's when
capturing
somebody
some of
asks
it.
something.
So I'm trying to think here.
Yeah.
So you have this product, it's the LU200, the
Yes.
400, the 600, the bigger product.
Yes.
You're streaming remotely.
which one's this one?
Back to
That is an extender that you're looking at right now. And what that basically does
yeah.
will boost the range of your pack.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw one of those.
What were you saying?
So what you're saying is that they're streaming up to your LiveU Central, and then from there they can share it?
Yes,
How
because
does that work?
the encoding technology, our LRT, reliable transport, is not just about the bonding, it's about how the video is encoded. So you're able to now transmit that as long as you have a receive server at the end, whether that's a physical server in a location. So the local television station has LiveU gear, they have a
Okay.
server there. So now any other pack anywhere in the world can be received by them if they want to. So what it does for for stations is it opens up a whole realm of possibility by using freelancers, LiveU equipped production companies. But on the other side,
LiveU equipped production companies, or schools, or any
or now any other AV group that's doing their own productions. If they have LiveU equipment, that encoded video can be received by any.
I could almost see
on
remote production,
a like community of people coming together now to be able to let people know that they have potential sources.
It's very interesting you say that, because there is a LiveU community.
Yeah, isn't there? Everyone talking about that. What is it called?
So it's called LiveU Community.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Internationally, we partner with Associated Press. But here in the U.S., not yet. But we have an extensive group, and what we do is the major broadcasters know who's LiveU equipped, and then they can actually post jobs, and our freelancer community can bid on them, and they're connected. And then vice versa, if there's a freelancer that's available and they have an opportunity or a pool feed or anything like that.
That's good for us to know.
Yeah. And it's been really fantastic, because there's a lot of production companies have gotten into doing live for themselves, but they want to get incremental business. They have the equipment, they can continue to use it. And in a breaking news situation, or even what we experienced a few months ago, not that long ago, with the hurricanes that came through, that was difficult to get people in and out to locations. So if someone was within a 2-hour driving radius and they had a LiveU pack, we were able to simply add that pack to their client's inventory, and now it was basically part of their broadcast network. So it is super cool stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, from being a small television network, having the LiveU receive server gear, I'd want to know, who can I rely on from time to time to get this data from? And you're one of the only people out there with this LiveU Solo that's an entry-level point product. So now you've just got tons of people out there.
Entry level, but I'm always careful to remind people of that same LU600 that you guys are using. That exact same technology, the bonding and the encoding technology, is what's inside a solo unit. So you're using, even in that less than $1,000 product, the same high-end, high-quality bonding and encoding tech that the major broadcasters are using in our higher-end products.
Wow.
So it's not a lesser product. What it is just more of a simpler interface or way of getting your stream online. Yeah.
I'm glad you explained the LiveU community, because I had been hearing about it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm actually looking at Christopher Zanowitz over here. We might bring you on later. He was telling us about this. He's like, is anyone part of this community? It looks like a great place for live streamers to make money and monetize the purchase of a LiveU box. And I didn't fully understand it. Sometimes you see something like that and you're like, what is that? And it was great to hear the explanation, because I could see these local communities.
Well, so it obviously came out of the broadcast world. So it's definitely built around that. And what we found are the other now content creators or online streamers or production companies have almost created an extended LiveU community beyond what we had done. Just because of that. The first question is, great, I have this product, I can go live anywhere. The next question is there anyone that knows how to use it and that can just do it for me first? And we have a lot of our customers that have gotten incremental business and grown and expanded. So what would have been a wedding videographer, by getting into live streaming some of the weddings, now has a whole new career path in live video production.
It's very similar to Chris, who is a wedding videographer.
There we go.
To live stream.
You know what? Do you want to come on really quick, Chris? Because it ties into the... So Chris actually is a wedding videographer who has the LiveU, who is actually part of the community.
Oh, you have a LiveU?
No, I don't have
Or you were thinking about...
Yes.
That's why I'm actually at NAB. That was my number one reason.
So Chris was the one who was telling me, he's in the Stream Geeks community, and he was saying how, if I was, he was seeing us using the LiveU Solo, and he was saying, if I was able to get a LiveU Solo, look at this community, and I think you were seeing the opportunity. So.
Absolutely. So I do wedding videography, and one of the biggest hurdles is internet connectivity.
Yeah.
So bonded.
Oh, sorry. Start over.
Repeat it.
So, with the wedding industry and being in remote locations and inside hotels and all these different areas, there's no way to really do a proper live stream. So with LiveU, it opens up the door for us wedding videographers and small production houses to be able to make that a fruition. I've got people ready. As soon as I own it, they want a demo. So I'm hoping to get into it pretty soon.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It could be you can never rely upon what the bandwidth is going to be at the facility.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
you can never
depend on
rely
that.
upon what they tell you they can do at the facility, which we've learned ourselves even here at the convention center, paying a lot for internet connectivity in the past, and then you get there, but they don't understand video. They say, yes, you have the bandwidth, but it's not video bandwidth. It's not up and down. But now, yes, you can do remote, destination weddings, outdoors, all of that. That's super cool.
Yeah, with the invention of NDI too, it's really simplified the process.
Yeah.
vMix has really been huge for us too, because before I was looking at TriCasters, that's all I've ever used. I've rented them, and it's been an expense. I'm a small production house, like trying to get in there.
Piece of equipment you would have to cart with you if you're doing the on-site production.
Right.
One of the other trends, though, too, that we're seeing with the tech is not just producing it all on site then. So if you're doing multiple cameras, all the switching and graphics and everything, now if you have that back at your home studio, being able to use the LiveU to send it back home and not have to bring all that on site makes life even much easier.
Let's talk about that, because that's what you're doing at your booth.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting.
Yeah, so we do have someone manning the sound. You still, it's always important to have a technical director, because you know what it's like. You're getting people on, and maybe someone else, you need a business card if you're doing, graphics. But the majority of the production, the true production, the switching of the cameras, actually controlling the PTZ cameras. We do have control on the booth in case we want to do some adjustments ourselves. But for the most part, we're switching 4 cameras. They're doing the pans, tilt and zoom. They're doing graphics. They're doing, and all the broadcasting, which is also syndicating out to multiple destinations. All from Phoenix, Arizona, right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
And so what that saved was a lot of gear being brought on site, so we had a little bit more room on our booth, but also the expense of sending everybody out here.
Yes.
Because I know it's expensive here now in Las Vegas for this show, but you never know what the expense is, and then you have to have someone who's running the graphics board. You have to have another producer. It's those expenses that can really eat into a small business's profit margin when people still don't quite understand why they might want to add live streaming. They may think of it for weddings like, hey, this would be a nice value add, but they're not necessarily ready to pay a lot for it yet.
They're not ready.
Yeah,
They're not ready. So I'm looking at more of like a rental model, like basically, also in a photo booth company. So I understand the rental concept. So rent out the live stream just for ceremony, give them a final copy, simplify it, get in, get out, But really I want to do the larger productions, like the AP community and all of that I'm really interested in. I know that what I understand is the LiveU Solo is not going to connect me to those networks, so I got to step it up a notch.
Yes, yeah.
Which is great because y'all offer a leasing
But
program.
you can, I'll take your card and we're going to have our community guy reach out to you. What we do is we do a very special leasing program, basically. So it's not, so you get LiveU equipped. You don't have to have the server or any of that, but then you become part of the network. That then you can use it for your own, but then you can.
Wait, so can you explain that again? Because so you don't actually have to have the receive server.
Yes, because in essence you are the provider. You're the content acquisition, and you're sending to whoever the client is who has that. Which, in the case of if you happen to get a job with a client that wants it and isn't a LiveU customer, we can do that with a virtual server. So typically, when we rent our products, to send out a physical receive server to a location is a little crazy. Like we've got people renting stuff for FIFA coming up, for the royal wedding.
Wow.
They're picking up a pack and they're either doing it because they're doing it freelance for one of our customers, or because they want to broadcast it for their own online media entertainment group. So we set them up with a virtual server for that week period of the rental that they have. So he now would have the option, if he wants to use it for his own productions, to rent a virtual server for that event, pass that cost along to your customer, which is nominal, or just bid for the job and use his pack to be basically part of that customer's inventory, if you will. It basically becomes part of their.
Oh, this is really interesting.
It's just changing the way it's always been done with the television trucks and the expensive gear, and just putting it all in just a little clip-on belt bag.
I know.
It's wild. Wild.
This is exactly what I was trying to get you guys to. I've been trying to get answers, in the user group, and everybody's been like, "Oh, when you find out."
This is really new stuff. Like I didn't realize all of this.
Well, again, because it's very much comes out of the broadcast world, and I don't want to say that's a closed, tight-knit community, but it tends to be. Everybody knows everybody else. But what really changed it was the last elections, because it took the U.S. presidential elections usually pull international interest.
Yes.
But this one especially was a little bit more of a media show, let's say. So we had a lot more international customers coming out that couldn't necessarily afford to send a whole crew. So they were sending their journalists. So like Switzerland TV would send their journalist out for the conventions or for the different debates. And there was a high demand for LiveU equipped freelancers, so it actually started to branch out to a lot of the production companies.
That's great.
And that's where a lot of people came on board saying really quickly, like, I need a pack because this company just reached out to me, they're sending a journalist and we have no way of transmitting back to them.
Well, it's also partially because you have this server appliance that the networks have.
Yeah,
So it makes
exactly.
it specific to your encoders.
And one of the other announcements we've made for those customers is something called LiveU Matrix, which is essentially a layer on top of our LiveU Central, which now allows the news group to curate content for all those affiliates. So if there's something big going on in DC, they can now send instant notifications to the individual affiliates or other O&Os saying we have this feed coming in right now, and they can pick and choose who they're sharing with.
What's the ONO?
An owned and operated station. So an
Okay.
individually owned and operated station. Sorry, I'm guilty. I always try not to use lingo that's not vernacular. I apologize. That maybe wouldn't know that this was going on, or definitely would not have a crew out there. Now that content can be curated and controlled by the home office. And all done via IP and instantly.
I'm just picturing LiveU solo boxes in like red overnight shipments, like get it out there.
There's
quick.
a lot. There's a lot of that happening.
That's hilarious.
Question
Back
about
in San Antonio, I work with Philip Nelson from Nelco Media.
Oh yeah, Phil's great.
So
yeah.
next week we've actually got some time. We're going to get together.
Oh great.
We're going to demo some of the products there in house and everything.
Excellent.
So
yeah.
I'd love to keep in contact with you. And
Definitely.
And let you know
Well,
what
I'll
happens
give you
there.
my card.
So,
Phil will take great care of you.
yeah, Phil's awesome. I've known him a long time.
Yeah, and he's a huge proponent of staying open and integrating. He comes from NewTek. He understands that whole idea that everyone's got to play nice together, and it shouldn't be about the equipment. It should be about enabling someone to make money and do high quality content. Period. Yeah.
And that's I met with him last night. They had a special party, and that's exactly what we talked about. So he's more than willing to help, and
Excellent.
he's a wealth of knowledge. So, and
Well,
these guys right here have just been amazing.
I want him to get some stuff so we can do a cool story together about what you're
Yeah.
doing
That
and a
sounds
profile
fun.
of this.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
I really look forward to it. So.
this is a perfect meeting.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, because Chris, I remember you were like all about the community, the network, you know,
Yeah.
the freelance work and things of that nature. Are we getting any questions in the chat?
There's a question about pricing. How much would data rates cost for using the Solo for about 4 hours? Do we have any approximate?
So it's tough because there are sort of rules that you can gauge. It's about a gigabit per hour, but obviously it depends on what bit rate you're streaming at.
Okay.
And traditionally it's a little bit lower than that. I mean, that's at about maybe 7 megabits per second, I believe. Don't count me on that, but there are some little, you can Google it online, there are some little algorithm things that'll tell you about how much data
guides for
you
that.
need.
All right.
Yeah,
What about the LiveU 200? Is that the one that has y'all's data built
so
into
SIMs
it?
are built in. So so that's the split between the Solo and our other products.
Right.
The best part about Solo is you get your own data. You can get your own plan, so you can tack it onto your business plan. You can get different carriers, and you don't have to pay for what you're not using, but then you can see how you ramp up and increase and control that.
Right.
For our other product line, those SIMs, those cellular SIMs are built in, and you actually do get a plan through us.
Right.
So there is usually a natural growth pattern for people who know once they're streaming 25 gigabytes a month, 50 gigabytes a month, it makes it a little bit simpler because now it's all one bill, all one leasing program. It makes life a little bit simpler on that level. But for Solo, we see so many people going everywhere. Like you may say, I'm only doing weddings in Texas, but pretty soon the word's going to get out and you're going to be going to LA and you're going to be doing stuff in other locations, especially if you can do it remotely.
It's going to just take off.
The,
it really
the
is.
carriers are different, and it's another good tip. Opensignal.com, no matter where you are, it'll tell you what the cell carrier, what the strength is, who's working better than others at any
Do you
given
use that?
time.
No, I've never heard of that. I
Yeah.
have to write that down.
So what happens is for me even, I have a couple different carrier USB modems in my pocket. So if I'm in LA, I might use T-Mobile. Believe it or not, if I'm in New York, I pull out Sprint. Not a lot of people are using Sprint, and it's a really good network. So it's nice to have that flexibility to change. With our other products, it's a modem mix. so that you always have basically
Yes, I love that.
best cost bonding and best cost carrier.
Well, and with the Solo,
Yeah.
you can bring in a Wi-Fi hotspot too. So you
Not
could actually
only
have
that,
3 different carriers.
you can
right?
have 4 when mobile. So I just got, I should have brought it with me. I'm so sorry. Should have brought some stuff. A Netgear, it's a cellular router. So it's a hotspot router that has an Ethernet connection. So you just get yourself a little tiny Ethernet plug, and now you can bond a 4 source to it. It's not pretty. I have to put a rubber band around it because it doesn't fit. Our modems fit in this really nice pocket on the Solo, but so this is a little, stick it in a bag, but now you can have 4. It's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know before LiveU, like people were asking me, like, why are you looking for this? But I was looking for a router that had bonded cellular. But then I found the LiveU Solo, and it made more sense. A lot of live streams, like in the special event, they just need a single camera. You know what I mean? They don't need a full production.
Exactly.
But then you have the capability of doing that, and the encoding on the back end. I
Right.
mean, it just makes sense. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I don't mind you coming by my booth and just repeating that about 18,000 times so I can save my voice.
Well, and I know you still have we still have a day and a half left, so we don't want to destroy your voice on this show. But let me just ask you, what is the most exciting new thing that's coming out that you think is going to change the game?
In general, in the world out there?
For you guys.
For us, I see it's not so much product, it is more the services and capability. And for me, I'm going to answer it a little differently. What's really exciting for me are the different markets that we're engaged with. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it is way beyond broadcasting. CES wanted to change their name from the Consumer Technology Association because it's beyond consumer tech, or
really
consumer
has.
electronics show, whatever. This, nothing against NAB, but this is not just about the broadcasters anymore.
Right.
So many people we've seen today, from enterprise that are looking to do more live video, government. I love what's going on in education. Just to see how people are applying technology to do things, to sell more, to as a new monetization, profitability, but also just to communicate and share. To me, it's exciting, and it's rapidly exploding. I saw a little bit of change over the last couple of NABs, but now it's like every show I go to, it's a whole new different person or genre of people.
This might be a can of worms, but do you think it was Facebook Live?
So I do, and
I think so too.
I think, what is it, last March, 2 years ago, when they opened up their API, it made everybody sit up and take notice. That said, holy smokes, it's now not just these content delivery networks. It's not just having this as your way of getting stuff out there. It made social media a viable online channel. Television, live video destination. And it transformed the business. And it also allowed a lot of new media tech startups that normally never would have gotten the ability to get off the ground with their cool, hot idea.
Right.
But now, because it's integrated with social media, you can go. There's the Sprocket Startup Pavilion here. And I love all these cloud-based new media techs, because all these little add-ons, whether it's overlays and being able to drive someone to your website to buy the product that you're doing the video about, none of that would have happened if it wasn't all now on social media. And I think that's going to continue to change. We're constantly now saying, what's the next thing that we can add on to help people improve the quality of their stream? Because the more all of us, everybody here, can get better quality video, whether that's enhanced content, live commentary on the stream, all that interaction, the more then the content creator can focus on the great content of that video. I no longer have to worry about all of this stuff. I can actually sit down with Joyce, who's over there, and we can actually talk about what are we going to talk about, what the passion of what we want to bring, as opposed to worrying about the tech and spec.
And to kind of dovetail off that, and we're kind of going over, so I'll leave with this, is that when I started to realize that we could have high quality internet streaming anywhere, it really opened our boundaries, because we were kind of like
stuck in our studio
door. We've got all the tech there, let's just stay there, and it's a comfortable place for us to continue to do our content. But that could get stale for a lot of different things, and we for us to start thinking we can go anywhere now, it was like, and it really changed the way we're thinking about doing shows outside, doing different things, and really changing. I think just everyone in general might go through that mind-blowing process where they're like, I'm not tethered to my router and my Ethernet in my office.
Well, and to help close that thought, when we first came out with the Solo product, there were a lot of people that said, well, I'm really not streaming that much yet. I'm not really sure I want to do it. And 9 times out of 10, the second they got it in-house, opened it up and started using it, they go, oh, now I can do this, now I can do this, now I can do this, you know, and all of a sudden it does. The possibilities open up. Yeah.
It's going to be my next purchase. I mean, the LiveU Solo #1, I'm going to get it just to get going. And then from there, I'm going to get set up to get into that AP community and start doing some of that new stuff.
And that's great. So. Make sure, you know, Joyce over there, we'll connect up as soon as we get off here. Okay. And we'll also connect you with a few folks that have done exactly what you've done, who would love to share their tips and tricks with you.
That sounds awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Thank you for one last question from James, who is part of a small local government that live streams their county board meetings. The Solo has a WAN Ethernet port for terrestrial internet access as well.
Yes, yes. So that is what it's made for. So that if you're not mobile, you can still plug into a hardline Ethernet connection and bond that with the cellular. So if you're not doing anything, yes, you can do RTMP only. But take advantage of the fact that you can bond the multiple connections even if you are not mobile. And we have a couple great case studies about what LAPD is doing, the LA Fire, a lot of government community outreach and network. That's another great use case about live video, being able to talk back to the community in real time with live streaming. So I'll make sure I DM me. What is, no, that's Twitter. What's private message?
Can you give your email out?
Oh yeah, it's easy. It's Claudia@liveu.tv. So it's CLAUDIA@liveu.tv.
Easy enough. Thank you so much for joining us.
Send her an email. She's an amazing woman and very brave.
Not for the next 2 days. Give me a couple days to get home first.
I know my email.
Well, it's great to see an intelligent woman in the industry too. There's
that's very nice.
I wish there were more of you. There are a ton of you, but not as many.
They are, but you know what? We're busy doing the work behind the scenes. We're working all the time. That's why
He's like, I wish there were more women like you in the industry. Thanks,
well,
Mom.
we've had the conversation that we want more women in the industry.
Yeah.
But there are many. But you're one of the exemplary.
Thank you so much. That's very sweet. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That's our show, everybody.
We'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, guys. Thanks for joining us.
It's our last show.
Very much so.
I thought I could pop in on this one.
No.